10 minutes ahead, because I see a lot of streams that do that, and
Mm-hmm.
people aren't stupid. They can go past the clock. They know how to scroll and skip ahead. And on YouTube, you can just keep double tapping. And it's like 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 50 seconds, whatever. Anyway.
Right.
Hi.
Hi.
So we're going to wrap up at 10:50, roughly.
Sounds good to me.
I am going to be headed over to a radio station here in town to record a special edition of the Stories from the Hurricane Highway podcast with Mike Farrow and Craig Thomas. Talked about this yesterday some.
Right.
All about Hurricanes Bertha and Fran 30 years ago. Wow. I remember 30 years ago, we were watching Fran come up. In fact, tomorrow and Friday, we should talk about that, like sort of a, like if Twitter was around back then, what would we be tweeting about Bertha? Because it was coming up the Bahamas and it got sheared and it looked like, it's going to be a nothing burger. And then that shear relaxed. And that was my first experience with a true hurricane as a professional. And the picture of me in the current documentaries that I do where I'm holding up that anemometer.
Right.
It's that one right over there on my curtain. When I weighed 140 pounds, something like that. Wet. And I was wet in that picture. And I was wearing blue jeans on July 12th. What was up with that? Whatever. I'll bring that picture up on Friday. I'll show that picture. But that's the first picture taken of me in a professional setting, I guess you say, doing what I do now.
Right.
So it was. I'll explain it Friday. I'm getting ahead of myself. So whatever.
It's all good.
That's this. The heat and the dust. Speaking of that, we got 3 people on. We got to get these numbers up. 3 people.
We got to pump up those numbers.
It's Scott and Kathy and Catherine. Probably. Oh, we're up to 7. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Give it a couple of minutes so people can start waking up, see their notifications.
Yes. We got to come up with some scary, complete, misleading thumbnails that everybody knows are hyperbolic, but then once they see the show, they realize we're the real, genuine article. You know what I mean? Kind of like it's a facade. You know what I mean? Like, it's a safe area. Mark and
I have
CJ
a feeling that would get us canceled.
Well, I don't mean anything off the deep end, but, get some, the thumbnails we're talking about. They have that look. And every single day, this is the worst thing ever. But then we don't talk about the worst thing ever. But it's interesting because the algorithm will actually, it figures that out. Your thumbnail says you're going to talk about blowing up Pepsi bottles with firecrackers, but in the actual video, you bake brownies. The algorithm goes against you. Hey, we could do this. We could answer the spam call that's coming in live and see how it's from Fine Point Insurance. I'm good. I don't know who that is. All right, what the hell, man? Let's roll the intro and hope that we have at least 8 people by the time we're done.
Sounds like a plan. See
you on the other side of, where is it? There it is. See you in a minute. welcome back, everybody. Mark Sudduth here, Wilmington, North Carolina. There is Mr. CJ Morgan, also known as Florida Man Weather, of course,
How's
on
it going,
Twitter.
guys?
And he's down in Sarasota area of Florida. It's now Wednesday, the 8th of July, 2026. And it's talking weather time. I got a few interesting topics for you. Before we get into that, let's say hello to everybody on the chat. We have Vivian Nye, however you say that, hi with 2 I's. So that's hi. And we have Mr. Howard over there in Bermuda and gaming
How's
with
it going, guys?
I can't even say it. What do you call it? Gaming with over in the Philippines. I've seen a lot of Westpac storms, but Bavi is very comparable to Super Typhoon Yutu in 2018 and Marwar in 2023, which in these years, and he's right, all were El Nino. All right. And we also have our Spanish. So, CJ, you want to translate?
Let's see, where did it roll?
In Hurricane-Z5Q, yes, we got you covered today. I love it. We gotta get like an AI thing in here where I can literally talk my regular English, but it comes out the other side Spanish for our Spanish.
I think you can do that. I think like if you actually like on YouTube, I think you can actually do that. I think it automatically dubs into a different language.
Wow.
But Raul's talking about some different I know that, he's talking about the history of different, tropical storms in 2026. I don't know what this word means. I think he's, I saw somebody said he was Puerto Rican, but he's talking about the development of cyclones in the Westpac. I think he's asking questions about at least what I can see.
Can translate it exactly. We'll try to answer it.
I'll just use Google Translate.
There you go. And poor Catherine Burkett, for mercies, she's got to go. Be right back, she said. So something has happened over in the UK to poor Catherine. But great to see everybody. Let me show you what we're going to talk about today while CJ looks up the translation for what'd you say? Is Raul? Is that who it was? Was
Raul? Yeah. So he was talking about, already having the first cyclone of the season in the Westpac, basically just concurring with what's going on with Bobby.
Sure. Yeah. And there's lots more where that came from. We got this El Nino kicked off by twin cyclones, one on either side of the equator, way back in April or something like that. Saw people talking about that recently. All right. So Bobby's going to be one of our topics. Try again, Mark.
Talking points.
That too. A topic and a talking point. So I squished it into a contraction called topics. Anyway, the heat is the story.
It is here in the continental United States, man. Yeah. Everybody's boiling, and
we got an extreme heat warning here in Wilmington.
Yeah, I saw that this morning.
Pretty rare. But we will talk about Bavi. Bavi is headed for Asia. And so is, I know for sure, Josh Morgerman. He's over in Taiwan already.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
This is a big gamble for him. Because if it doesn't get near any of the Ryukyu Islands or whatever, or Taiwan, that's several $1,000s in the toilet. And I don't know if he can make it to China. We'll see. Always a gamble. Severe weather threat dwindling overall, but as CJ will talk about with us later, there's a pretty good wind-driven enhanced today for parts of the high plains. And we're going to check that 850 chart. Somebody's been asking for it. I got my friend Dylan to send me one of the graphics from Weather Bell, and we will examine it. And boy, it's kind of eye-opening. And From Africa with Love. It's the sequel to From Russia with Love. Anybody that knows, that's a good one there. Come on. All right. I'll be here all week. Be sure to tip your waitress. Okay.
Right.
National high and low temp, or tip us. Actually, that would help more. Forget the waitress. Tip Mark and CJ. Gas prices are going up again, but that's a story for an entirely different podcast.
Right.
National high and low temperatures for yesterday. Daggone it, CJ. We're almost there. 32 degrees, twice in a row for the national low. And again, I'm very just perplexed at how close these two are geographically. That's
Right.
incredible. 117 in Death Valley and Tupac, however you say it, in Arizona, Death Valley, of course, California. And then 32 degrees, just freezing in Angel Fire. They got a ski resort there. Beautiful part of New Mexico. You and I, when we make our trek, like from, let's say, Lubbock, and we go up this way and get up into Colorado, we're not too far from there. Actually, this should be a little bit further to the east. My little marker, my snowflake marker is just a hair too far west, but who's keeping track? I know Scott is, Weather Scott. Anyway, I thought this was interesting. I was looking around to see what's near Topic in Arizona, and I want to point out some of these interesting place names. Being a geographer, place names are interesting, all right? You got Golden Shores, which is literally a square community, and then another square community right next to it, all right? Then you have Catfish Paradise. Boy, with temperatures out here at 117, catfish, just like they do in Louisiana, they come pre-boiled. So there's that. Yeah. You ever had catfish?
I refuse to eat it.
Excellent. Finally. Excellent. Good. We're in agreement on that one.
So the reasoning is because of where I grew up, and so it has a little bit of a stigma. I know Southerners, y'all love your fried catfish. I'm going to have to respectfully decline. I love seafood, just not the catfish.
Yep, I agree. Death Valley sitting over here, of course. So finally, we're building the heat. I say finally, like, oh, we've been waiting for it, Mark. I mean, it comes every year, but we're building the heat in the desert Southwest where it belongs. Keep it over there. And the monsoon is starting to kick up a little bit more as well. We'll discuss that more as we get deeper into monsoon season. Just a little bit of a signal. But it's nice and toasty out west, and it's going to get hotter as this heat ridge slides and kind of inflates more to the west. Meanwhile, CJ, here is Angel Fire, New Mexico. And what a beautiful area. Are you ready for this? That is exactly what you need on a hot day when you have an extreme heat warning in Wilmington. Just look at one of these types of pictures, and your troubles are over. Isn't that pretty? That is a really neat area. Have you ever been snow skiing?
I have a couple of times, but never out west where it's actually powder.
Right. Yeah, really. And generally real.
Yeah. Well.
Wow. Beautiful area. God. So anyway, 32 degrees, still at freezing or below for our national low temperatures. And again, the agreement between CJ and myself, and I guess by default, an agreement between our audience and everybody. When we get what are you doing? He's naked in there.
Sorry, I have a tank top on underneath because it's hot.
CJ has no shirt on.
No, I have a tank top.
2,000 people watching. That was the key.
Nobody wants to see that.
Well, some do. But it's a whole other story.
I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. There's something for everybody out there. Catfish are bottom feeders where all the trash hangs out. Exactly.
It's kind of,
Right. I got distracted by CJ's partial nudity.
Partial. Yeah, it's a horrid, it's an attractive neckline there.
There you go.
Nadine even asks, with this heat, are you really going to be upset with having a breakfast of ice cream when the low goes
Thank you. That's
freezing?
What I was trying to get
Not at all.
CJ's
Not at all.
Cleavage messed me up. So once we get to 33, and I'll notice it the night before when I do my homework.
Right.
I actually do homework for this show, by the way. I don't just come in and see what happens. I do prep. And I check that every night.
As well.
And once I see a 33, I'll tell CJ, you got to get some ice cream, and we're going to have a little bit of ice cream on the show. So we're not quite there yet. And
not yet.
It'll be interesting to see. I wonder where it's going to happen. Where will it be, east of the Mississippi or west of the Mississippi, that we finally are above freezing for our national low?
My bet it's going to be to the west, just given how everything's kind of.
I don't know, with that heat dome shifting to the west, It
Right,
actually,
you would think.
but you're right. Some of the higher elevations could still eke it out. It just might be
Right.
something like, we're going to have 32 from Angel Fire, and then next week you're going to see like the low will be 43 somewhere because it's just so darn hot.
Right.
So darn hot. Well, speaking of the heat is definitely the story. So,
oh yeah,
we're going to get to that. I don't remember what my tab orientation is for today, but we'll talk about Bobby. We're going to talk about severe weather, all that stuff. So let's just get back to it. I got a schedule to keep too. I got to get over to the radio station to talk about Bertha and Fran with my good friends Mike Farrow and Craig Thomas. All right, so the next topic, From Africa with Love, the sequel to From Russia with Love, Hardy Har. Good old Ben Knoll with his maps, I tell you, it's just incredible what he does. Florida, and that's where CJ is. Doesn't have much in common with the desolate Sahara Desert, but in the coming days, and especially this weekend, those two places will be connected by a seasonal weather pattern that carries vast plumes of Saharan dust, some 6,000 miles across the Atlantic.
Yep.
Oh, happy, happy, joy, joy.
Yeah, it's going to make the heat hotter, if that was even possible, today and tomorrow here across the Sunshine State. So if you look outside this afternoon, maybe tomorrow, you should see that milk up in the sky, that milky haze. And then, it's going to be some beautiful sunsets, though, here on the Gulf Coast. And some beautiful sunrises over on the other side.
Comes across horizontally at about 700 millibars or so up in the atmosphere. And it wafts its way, all of that. I guess waft is more of a smell that wafts, but whatever. It's lofted up. And I'm not even joking about this. I have jokes from time to time because I have a sense of humor. But over here in the Cabo Verde Islands, which, by the way, why during the World Cup were they called Cape Verde? But we know them now, and everybody said it's Cabo Verde, right?
So they used to be Cape Verde.
Right.
But after colonization, they went with the Portuguese, which is Cabo Verde.
Right. But then back in the World Cup, they're called Cape Verde again. Nobody called them Cabo Verde.
Why are some national territories countries in the Olympics? The world will never know.
But sometimes, and this is a true story, not making this up, the MCSs that come off these tropical waves, and you can get some behemoths, will loft out so much stuff that will include insects that land and rain down on the Cape Verde Islands. And stories of that going all the way back to the 15 and 1600s. And it even happens in modern day. So that's true. And birds get yanked out there. And then when they get ingested into a tropical wave, and that tropical wave develops into a hurricane, those birds stay in the eye. And that's how we have a lot of the birds that we have in the western part of the basin.
Yep.
Hurricanes of many eons ago. Amazing. Meteorological paleontology. Meteopaleontology. There you go. That'd be a great job to have.
It would.
They have paleoclimatology, but anyway. So dusty and whatever. I thought this is an interesting map for you guys. But this also keeps a lid, literally, because it's a cap up at about 700 millibars, warm, dry air with grasshoppers and dust. Boy. So collect it and make yourself some grasshopper and dust soup.
No thanks.
All right. No thanks. So the heat is the story, especially here today. This is really interesting to see. We do have an excessive heat warning for southern Arizona and the Grand Canyon, but also right here along southeast North Carolina and portions of northeast South Carolina. I just find that interesting. And I think it's because of the humidity that has crept in here. And so after I'm done with the show, before I head over to the radio station, I'm going to put my two dogs in the crate in the kitchen. Got these big crates for them. We bring them in when it's cold or when it's hot or when they're barking too much or when they are fireworks outside.
Yep.
Dogs hate those. And but let's just click on this and see what's going on. Extreme heat warning. And here's a nice infographic. There it is. So we're looking at heat index today of 112 in Wilmington,
Yes.
115 down here in Charlotte. And that's getting it, CJ. I mean,
Yeah.
wow.
For you guys, it's definitely over and above and beyond what, would be typically
Right.
experienced this time of year. I mean, like we said this a million times. Yeah, it's summer. Yeah, it's hot, but it's not usually this hot.
Right. It's extreme heat. And the heat index of 112, potentially
Yuck.
even hotter tomorrow. No extreme heat warning or heat advisory yet. But we'll have to see, I guess. And then, they did it. Friday, officially 100 here in Wilmington. This is just bananas, dude.
Has it ever hit 100 degrees when you've in your lifetime that you can remember?
Several times.
Okay.
Yes. Low 100s even. Yep. And we've actually been 0 degrees before Christmas Day,
Right.
1989. My son, Josh, tennis player, he's actually giving up soccer. That's a whole other thing. And it's not from the World Cup. He's not, he's just, he wants to be full on tennis. He feels like he has more control over his destiny. And I guess that makes sense because he's a goalkeeper. And when your team lets you down, I've seen that a few times in the World Cup. But again, apparently that has nothing to do with it. It's something he's been thinking about for a few months now. He wants to pursue tennis. That being said, he's got a great tennis coach at UNC Wilmington. And they have these practices 5 days a week from 5 to 7. I'm pretty sure that these few days here, not happening.
Yeah, it's going to be too hot outside to really do anything of any substance. And I mean, if you have to be outside, if you're working, if you're, whatever your plans are outdoors, definitely make sure that you're taking care anywhere in the Southeast or just generally stay hydrated and stay cool.
Right. You might not think about it. You're like, it's summer. It's supposed to be hot. You get outside, it's extra hot. You don't realize it. And all of a sudden, your electrolytes are low, your fluids are low, and your kidneys start having issues. And then you're waiting for 6 hours in the ER waiting room.
Exactly.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I have it on good authority. You don't want to be doing that.
No, you do not. No, you do not.
Me and CJ both know.
Yeah.
All right. Pretty hot out in the desert Southwest, where again it should be.
Yeah,
Let's check
I saw that.
Phoenix, Arizona. Who's the text from? So 111, but this is a dry heat. I love that dry heat. That's something else. One year, CJ, you're going out there on the monsoon chase with us, and you'll see what it's all about.
Right.
We'll drag you out there, kicking and screaming. But hey, there won't be any humidity, so you'll like that. So
great, I'll desiccate.
I was gonna never mind. The dew point is 54 out there.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously
26.
Right. I mean, in terms of the humidity, there's not going to be much. But listen, 111 degrees is still 111 friggin' degrees.
Agreed.
It's still hot.
It's so neat, honestly, that here's an example. So last year, Scott.
It's neat whenever you can watch the sweat
like
boil off of your skin.
It's like Rango when movie Rango starring Johnny Depp as that lizard when he just goes and the skin falls off of him. That kind of heat is deadly. And what I think is really neat about it, and it's a form of extreme weather, just like minus 30 wind chill. But I'm not going to do a minus 30 wind chill. That's never going to happen. Okay? Because
it's not fun.
Dumb, but I'm too stubborn that I would go out in it and it would eventually get me. I would die first in extreme cold over extreme heat because I'm just stubborn. I'd want to be out in it and whatever, and I'd realize too late I can't get back to the vehicle, and you'd just find me frozen in the springtime.
Trust me, when the wind chill drops below -15, you don't want to be out in it.
Right, exactly.
It hurts.
But
one of those, it hurts.
It was in Death Valley a few years ago.
Right.
And it was 132 out there. Oof. There's something about that when you step on the pavement and you can feel it coming up through your shoes, right?
Yeah.
And you take the infrared thermometer. My friend Paul from Pahrump put his infrared thermometer, aimed it at the pavement there at the visitor center, It's when we did that Fox weather hit, the first time ever from Starlink in Death Valley. Just, again, people don't talk about that over Thanksgiving. Do you remember that time Mark did the live shot from Death Valley? I do remember that. The iPhone barely stayed on because it was so hot, and the Tacoma that we rented almost caught fire in that parking lot. No joke. Oof. And Paul had to put the iPhone in the cooler in a bag with ice just to get through the live shot with Ian Oliver. I mean, that really happened. We were like the Tacoma was like steaming and smoke coming out, and the ground temperature was 186 degrees.
Nope. That's enough.
I mean, that's extreme weather. That's the equivalent of dealing with like a Category 3 hurricane out in the open in terms of the danger level. So, it's all good.
More people die from exposure than the actual extreme weather events themselves, be it the wind, the water, whatever. More people die of exposure than, drowning and such. It can kill. And that, as your skin starts as you perspire, that moisture gets wicked away. Well, guess what? That's coming out of your body.
Right. And that's what Katie's talking about. That dry heat.
That's why it's so deadly.
Right. And you don't realize it. You don't realize it.
Yeah, no, you don't feel it.
I like these two different. So KP 1139, I've seen -60. I just couldn't. Seriously, I can do about -10, then I'm good. I'll stay inside of whatever I'm in. But the 134, whatever, I've been hiking in Snow Canyon in Utah. It's like 109, and we go hiking up into the lava tubes. That kind of stuff to me is really interesting. But when it gets really, really cold,
no, thank you.
Your face hurts. It actually gives you the ice cream headache from your bones getting cold. So
that's why I always say I'm glad I do not live where the air can hurt my face.
Yes. Indeed.
Been there, done that. I've stood outside waiting for a school bus in -10-degree wind chill, and it sucks.
It is interesting how that also works the other way, because when the wind blows out here, the hot air hurts your face.
Yep.
Let's talk about Bobby for just a moment.
Yeah.
Bobby's headed for Asia. Oh, we have two cats fighting on my floor. Willow and Penelope hissing and growling at each other.
Nice.
Good old, I don't have a way to swing the camera over and show you guys, but we have a legitimate
cat fight.
You might hear them. That
it's fun.
Yes, the heat's getting to the cats. Look at that eye. All right.
It's giant.
Pretty good. Yep, big old truck tire. Rolling through the Pacific, big clear eye, beautiful if you were at the ocean down there and could safely do so. And look at the structure there. I forget what you call that. It's not mesovortices, but it's got almost looks like framing, like it's held up. The structure of it. It's just amazing. But let's look at the stats on Bobby real quick. 931 millibars, 125 knots. So it's not a super typhoon. It's been reduced to just a regular typhoon. Hey, watch it. Cats are getting too close to me. Gonna run over my feet and cut my toes with their sharp claws. You ever have that? Oh, yeah. I forgot. You're not a cat person, so never mind.
No, we don't have cats.
All right. So looks like the center will not make landfall in Taiwan, but the southwest part of the Ryukyus, as they're called, could get hit. And this is where Morgerman will probably end up, as well as a few others, I am sure. James Reynolds, who lives in Japan. I've never had the opportunity to meet James. He seems like a really cool dude. Volcanoes, typhoons. I wonder if he'll ever get the bug to come over like Daniel Shaw and do U.S. severe weather, or if Daniel Shaw will ever go over and do typhoons. I mean, he's pretty close being in Australia.
Right.
Doing the off season.
Well, he also has the ability to do cyclones there in Australia.
That's true. That's true during the Southern Hemisphere summer.
Yep.
But we'll be watching this closely over the next couple of days. It still has a while to go. Then a landfall on mainland China, and according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, the winds at that point would be pretty. This is the last two. pretty low,
95
95
knots,
to
I
40
think.
knots or so. Yeah, so it's going to weaken as it comes in. But then
That's good.
the energy from this beast of a typhoon will get pulled into the overall
Yep.
pattern, and that's going to help to inflate that big ridge that's going to set up over the western U.S. So
Yuck.
let's see where this goes in the next couple of days. This is some of the ensemble plots for it. There's a few members that do get it over the northern tip of Taiwan, but by and large, the ensemble means of pretty much everything brings this through the Ryukyu Islands. I think that's what those are, all the way
Wild.
to the southwest, right?
I believe so, yes.
My geography serves. So there's Bavi. What's next? I forget. Oh yeah, the heat. So
The
we
heat,
covered it a
more of
little
the
bit.
heat.
Yeah, and it is the story. So there you go. So this is today, but let's just watch how this shifts over the next few days. I like that when you can see where the
Wow.
rain is.
Yeah.
These little islands of that's amazing that the model can pick that up.
Right.
So this is Saturday night, Eastern time, still sun up. Look at that, 103 up here in Montana and in South Dakota, 105. Do you really think that's going to happen?
I don't know. I mean, the GFS can sometimes be out to lunch when it comes to rain, like, temperatures, etc., especially at range. But I mean, this is within 118 hours, so I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
looking at some of these temperatures here, you're looking at 113 in Minot, 113 in Glendive, Montana, even 110 in Broadus. We've been there.
Yep.
Yep. I mean,
Let's
just that
fire
whole
that up.
94 corridor, even approaching and above the century mark, right over the border in Kansas, or I mean in Canada, in southern Saskatchewan. So,
Wow, look at
I
that.
mean, it's possible. I
Yeah, it
think.
looks legit. I mean, the official weather service, Minot, North Dakota, 104 on Sunday. Yikes. Wow. Sorry, I lost where I was.
You're good.
So
And
that's
what's
not too
interesting
far
is
off.
most of this is dry.
Yeah.
So you're looking at dew points forecasted in the same area around the low to mid 30s. So definitely, definitely something to keep in mind.
What I really think is so neat about humans, we've got our dark side and our problems, but the technology and the stuff we've done with that and numerical weather prediction. So all of
Absolutely.
these areas right here, I'm just going to highlight a few of them in blue because we're going to leave them up. All right, so there's some here. Let's do the one down here in Florida. Let's do this one over here in Louisiana as well. Okay, so look at all those areas. So you see those holes. Now let's switch this over to the radar. Amazing. Fascinating. Isn't that amazing how that works?
Yep.
That's outflow and rain-cooled air.
Exactly.
Really, really cool. And you see over here in New Mexico, there's a few. Switch back over to the thermodynamics. And there you go. That's just so cool that the model can pick that up. I just think I'm a geek, man. Call me guilty. I'm guilty of that. That's really neat. Anyway, the heat builds and stays. Look at that, 111, 113. That's just nuts.
Yeah.
Hopefully these are overdone.
Isn't it crazy?
But then the east finally starts to cool off a little bit once we get towards next week. And also next week, I am going to be out of town for a while, going out to Colorado. Talk about that on Friday's show. But it looks like I will literally go to where the heat is. So, yay me. That's just crazy right there. 111. Yikes. And this is exactly when we're going to be up in this area. We're going to Devil's Tower. Going to go back to Mount Rushmore. That Pizza Hut in Newcastle. I told Daphne we're going there. She doesn't like Pizza Hut. I'm like, sorry, too bad. It's a classic Pizza Hut. I ate there with CJ. We're going.
Yeah. No, it's
looks like it'll be hot.
It's going to be nasty out there. And, I'm looking at this. Here's Monday, 5 p.m. I don't know if you made it out that far. If you're past, that's hour 309. And if this is to be believed, you have over 100 degrees down the whole entirety of the Great Plains from Winnipeg the whole way down to the border with Mexico.
Yeah.
102 in Monterey. So,
and then it gets hot again when I get home.
Man, it's
man,
just hot.
And this really is a big deal. Okay. And again, we've seen a lot about this with it's summer, it's supposed to be hot. It's taxing people, it is taxing crops, it is
Yeah.
taxing livestock, and it is taxing our energy grid, which in the
Yes, it
background,
is.
we're dealing with these big AI data centers, and that's a
Hmm.
whole other thing. It just keeps getting weirder and weirder and weirder in our
Yep.
timeline. I
And I will
swear.
definitely say this is shaping up to be one of the hottest summers in quite some time.
Absolutely. So we got the wildfires continuing and the El Nino churning. Man, we're not going to be bored the next 6 to 8 months and beyond. That is for sure. All right,
Hmm.
CJ, it is all yours, buddy. Let's talk about severe
Oh,
weather.
yeah, severe weather. Again, we're past the prime of severe weather season, but there's still stuff out there to be worried about. Up in the high plains, you have the enhanced risk there today for potential for wind gusts. It looks like anything that fires there from this upslope flow regime is going to grow upscale very quickly. So it's going to be some beautiful shelf cloud action there across parts of Nebraska, or Colorado, Wyoming, and far northwest Kansas.
Just shut your computer off, go to the airport. I'll meet you there later today. Let's just do
Yeah,
it. Bye,
right.
everybody. Thanks for watching. If only. I mean, that
If
stuff's
only.
amazing when you see it. You got
Hmm.
to admit.
It is.
Some of the
It's
coolest stuff that we
absolutely
saw with
gorgeous.
MSU was shelf clouds.
Yep.
The tornadoes are obviously,
I mean,
wow.
there's a possibility, but today
It's
I don't
mostly
think so.
structure.
Yeah, it's mostly going to be a wind day,
Right.
and then more of the same the next couple. I mean, it's really rinse and repeat as we get into these summertime air masses where it's more more or less predictable. Not
Right.
really tornado threat, but
Yeah.
wind and
Almost
hail.
nothing. Yeah. Wind and hail, and even the hail threat diminishing. We're getting to the smaller, more
Yes.
wind driven, not as destructive. But that's a pretty large chunk of the country that could see some hail.
Yeah.
You think about
Absolutely.
it. Interesting stuff. By day 3, even more diminished overall as the heat
Precisely.
builds. So, and then we're not even seeing anything show up on the 4 through 8 outlooks, which is to be expected this time of year.
Right.
But as we will discuss, Sunday evening is what it looks like, 8 p.m. Eastern time with Ben Knoll. We will really hype this up starting Friday. Once
Really
I lock
excited.
it in, we're going to talk about severe weather and everything related to the El Nino. You think this year was interesting from a severe weather perspective, and it was for its own reasons. Oh, wait until you see January and beyond for next year.
Oh, it's going to be interesting, especially as we get into the colder months this year. I'm really excited for the Southeast this second season.
Yep, and we'll cover all that. And again, once I lock it in with Ben on Friday, want to make sure he's still good with that. We'll promote it, and you're not going to want to miss that. A special edition of Talking Weather.
Exactly.
Tentatively scheduled for Sunday night, 8 p.m. Why 8 p.m.? What's up with that? Well, because Ben lives in New Zealand.
Yeah.
You can't expect him to come on at 2:30 in the morning, which is pretty much what it is
He
right
has
now.
kids, I believe. So, yeah, probably not the best idea.
You know how that is.
Yeah.
All right. Finally, we've had this
there we go.
for a while, and I really appreciate Dylan sending me this. What is it? What are we looking at? This is the Euro. So I'll point out what's what. ECMWF initialized yesterday morning, 850 millibars. So that's 5,000 feet in the atmosphere, your zonal wind anomaly. And in this one, we're talking 15 north and south of the equator. And the way this is done, you have a nice little Mercator film strip put out for you to show you what this is valid for geographically.
Wow.
All right. This is the past. This is the future. Okay. This is what's already happened. These reds and pinks you see and yellows, those are less strong trades and even westerly winds. So normally your trade winds blow this way from east to west.
Right.
When they slacken at that 5,000 foot level, that's an anomaly. Or when they are really strong this way, that's an anomaly.
Right.
And those anomalies show up with these beautiful colors that whoever designed the map, you choose the colors for your color bar. All right. So all of this indicates stronger than normal westerly wind anomalies. Well,
And look at
stronger
those
than
coming
normal is
up.
an anomaly. This is all
Wow.
in the Pacific through here. See? So it's been nothing but westerly
Wow.
wind anomalies for a while and a lot more to come. So that
That's
has helped to
insane.
fuel this El Nino. But what I want to point out, look at how the Atlantic has had its own
Yeah, that
westerly
is interesting.
anomalies and what it's forecasting the Euro as we go forward. All through here, that's going to help to really warm the Atlantic as we move through July. That gets us out to July 22nd. I find that to be very intriguing because, as I showed you yesterday, we are seeing a fairly warm look to the Atlantic overall. Not a particularly cold main development region. Still a pretty warm subtropics, and that helps with knocking down the instability. It makes it more stable. Plus, we have this Atlantic Nina. That is kind of a thing. You know, the equatorial waters here are colder, so it kind of sort of stunts the tropical waves. So there's still plenty against having a busy Atlantic hurricane season, but I think there's enough here to say we're not going to have, I know this is a double negative, we're not going to have nothing.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not over till it's over. And this kind of look overall is not a complete detriment to development, especially once climatology starts to push back against the Nino. We shall see. So I hope that answers the question there from, I forgot who it was that asked exactly the name. We'll go look at the chat in a moment. But yeah, it's just a plethora of westerly wind bursts. And some of these are your bursts right here. And you can track these through time. That's what you're doing here. So this is, you know, like through time, like, you know, this is 10th of July. This ends on the 22nd. So it would move. It's like a wave. Okay. Again, once you know how to look at one of these, you look at it like when people can read an MRI and they know immediately, oh, that's a tear. That's a cancer tumor thing, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
We look at these diagrams. Like you can look at a SQT, CJ, and you know exactly what you're looking at. Me, still struggling, still learning. But I can look at this and tell you, oh, you have an El Nino in place.
Right.
2 seconds or less. I can tell you that. All right. So let's look at the chat and see. Ever since January, the West Pacific has been extremely active. Most of the time, it shouldn't happen since conditions are unfavorable at that time. But with El Nino years, it changes everything. That's exactly right.
The West Pac is just going to be overperforming this year, especially with this ridiculous El Nino. I feel for the folks there, though.
And I'm really concerned about the Eastern Pacific right now with the strong ridging we have over that area in North America. The cyclones are going to generally go to the west. But as we get towards late August into September into October, we're going to start crashing those ridges with troughs coming down. And you're going to have one hurricane after the other in the East Pac, and they're going to start turning into the Baja, into mainland Mexico, and eventually, I'm almost certain of it, into the desert Southwest, and that will enhance the potential for very significant flooding for Phoenix, Tucson, Vegas, the LA basin, potentially maybe up into Southwest Utah, possibly Colorado, and especially if that were to be on repeat. Like you just get one after the other. So it was hurricane. Hurricane, we'll call them Hurricane Z. Yeah, I know. You can have a free trial for 3. Nothing against Weather Bell. I'm just one of these people, and CJ will tell you. That's why I have radar scope and nothing else. I get locked in, and I like what I like, and it's hard for me to change. And it's just almost too much going on. And so I rely on Dr. Ventress charts, and they weren't updating. Maybe he's on vacation or something. I don't know. But I definitely know there's a lot. In fact, there's a cyclonic weather. I think that's Alex Borum. He's a meteorology student or something like that. He's got that cyclonicweather.com. He puts out those charts as well, which is free. Anyway, we took a look at it, and we are definitely in an El Nino. Any other questions from you guys before we let you go? And I head over to
how's it going, y'all?
90.1 Light FM.
Yeah, you've got your recording session there today with Mr. Farrow and I think another friend you said.
Craig Thomas.
Going back to the 1996 season with Bertha and Fran, right? They were your guys' double whammy that year.
6 weeks apart or so.
Yeah.
And I got married in between the two. I got lucky. One of our
I was
wedding
born
dates,
in between the two.
There you go.
Yeah.
How about that? Man, literally old enough to be his father. That's what makes it fun on the chases. He has suggested that I have a character where I'm basically like a dad. What'd you say I would wear?
It would be funny. You'd be the dad chaser. You'd have, the cargo shorts, the knee-high socks, the New Balance shoes, and the golf shirt tucked into the cargo shorts, man. That would, and the baseball cap. That would be, it'd be perfect.
It'd be perfect, he says. We are not going to do that. But yes, we're going to go back and look at Bertha and Fran. It's a special edition of Stories from the Hurricane Highway. And this one, once I get it ready, and it'll be ready by the 12th, which is the 30-year anniversary.
Right.
I'm actually going to put this one out on Patreon for free on the other side of the paywall because I want everybody to hear it. There's some great stories from me because my career started around that time, and they're going to intertwine my stories with Craig and Mike in the radio station. They were WGNI at the time. And just a little hint. Yeah, really, he's so bad. A little hint as a spoiler. Remember when radio was like what everybody really listened to before streaming and Napster and all that stuff, right?
Absolutely. If you didn't have a CD player, you were stuck with FM.
Right. And when we had a hurricane, the radio stations would break in and just not break in.
They still do that here.
Stop the music.
Yeah, they still do that here. Right. Yep, they still do that here. A lot of them will simulcast local news stations.
Right.
We relied on that a lot. So make sure in your kit you have your prep kit.
And we still have radio.
Have that battery power radio because I'll tell you that's how we got updates during Ian and Milton after we lost power.
It's not all voice tracked and done from one central office somewhere, even though it's starting to go that way. Right. But back then, 30 years ago, GNI was known as the Hurricane Information Station. And Bertha came along, and as we're going to talk about when we do this recording session here in about an hour, Craig and Mike and Kitty Fitzgibbons and others, yes, that was the woman's name, Kitty Fitzgibbons, they all worked and figured it out and had to kind of make it up as they went. 6 weeks later, we had Fran. And they knocked it out of the park. It had like international, recognition for how the radio station was like 100,000 watt station dealt with helping the community get through two hurricanes back to back before the internet as we know it, before social media. That was the social media. People would call in. So after the hurricanes, they just stayed on the air taking calls. Like now we have comments and people can participate during the show. That's what it was like on radio 30 years ago. They would just take a call randomly, All right, well, good luck with you, Bob. All right, who am I talking to now? And sometimes it would be, hey, well, this is Steve up in Porter's Neck, and big tree fell down, and it's an interesting story. Other times, just like with comments, right? Hey, well, good 100%. Luck, Steve. So who we're talking to now? Oh, this is Ralph, and we got water going down the Intracoastal Waterway. And you just, really? Water in the Intracoastal Waterway? Well, let's talk more about, you get these people that were drunk, because that's what they do. And it just became this mix of BS and helpful information and people complaining about this, that, and the other. And it became like a community forum on the radio, unscripted, uncensored for like 3 days straight. That's what we're going to talk about in this podcast that I'm getting ready to record. All right.
Nice. All right. I like that.
All right. So I got a lot of text coming in.
It is 10:51.
Yep. Time to roll it up.
You got to get to the radio station. So I think it's time to roll them up. We have a lot of good stuff coming the rest of the week. I like the idea of talking about Fran and
Hurricane Dennis. You mentioned that.
Bertha. Yeah. And Friday, Hurricane Dennis. So definitely something to sit back and talk about.
So, you know, speaking of that, I think Friday or maybe tomorrow because it's Throwback Thursday, whatever, I might actually just play the Dennis part of Tracking the Hurricanes 2005. Just play it as a snippet, and then we can discuss it. Man, I got to get this out if I'm going to be recording audio. Something in my throat.
Right.
You guys have a good rest of your Wednesday. We appreciate you
have
tuning in.
Y'all.
It's great to have you. And we will be back and do some more tomorrow and then again Friday. And
heck yeah.
Whatever. So have a good one. And thanks for watching. It is bye, but only for now.
Only for now.
Only for now. We'll be back.